Hello and welcome to the Story Behind the Stories, your weekly look at the pages of the Neepawa Banner Press. Thank you very much for taking a little bit of your time and spending it here with us on NACTV. I'm Eoin Devereux with the Banner Press, welcoming you to the program, almost as always, and I'm joined this week by publisher, owner, operator, Ken Waddell. Ken, good to have you here for our final edition of the Story Behind the Story for 2024.
It's a great way for us to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to everybody. I'm glad to be here.
All right, and again, this one's going to be a little more interesting. We're sort of gearing down for the end of our year and getting ready for 2025. Fortunately, there's nothing too extremely serious or foreboding to sort of share with you in this week's edition. It's a lot of happy and peppy, and that's what we like. That's what we like. Maybe it doesn't pay the bills the way you want it to, but it's still nice from time to time. And we're going to start, of course, with our special section, the Christmas section this year. Each and every year we do a BC section with Christmas recipes, thankfully done by Helen Drysdale. Helen, if you are a loyal and consistent reader of the newspaper, you know Out of Helen's Kitchen, a prominent feature we have each and every week in the Banner Press on page 6, very well regarded. A lot of people sort of look forward to those recipes and trying some new things in the kitchen. And Helen really goes above and beyond each and every year with the special section. Now this one is one of those ones. Helen does all the recipes. Diane Warner, who looks after all of our advertising in terms of building the ads and our classifieds and all that, she puts together these two sections. I was completely hands off. Sometimes the best way you can help is to stay the hell out of the way, I've learned over my 51 some odd years of experience. And I did that. So this one completely and utterly is a Helen and Diane sort of venture. And it's really well put together. Some of the recipes I thought were fantastic. But let me throw over to you, Ken. Let me get your take on what you think about the Christmas section each and every year and just this year's edition.
Well, I'm particularly happy because you can't see it there, but please pick up a copy of the paper and you'll see one of the things that, going to get emotional here. Sorry. This is why Chris and I do this. For the community and then for all the people that work for us and work with us. A couple of them are camera shy. Their pictures aren't on the page, but you see there's a whole pile of people there. Some of them are part-time students and people working on stuffing the flyers and everything. And this year, my God, did we have flyers. Because the Canada Post strike, everybody thought we were wonderful to be friendly with and got flyers in the paper. So for those of you who don't like flyers, sorry, but we had in the 3 papers this week, we had close to 50,000 flyers stacked in there. And some people say print is dead. Well, you can't tell that to the retailers, but the amount of flyers they print sure isn't dead for them. And it sure wasn't dead around here this week. And we had 3 vans or 5 vehicles on the road on Thursday. We still got 2 out today on Friday as we're taping, finishing the deliveries. And so have a look at all the people on the front page. And when you meet up with them, thank them for what they do because they don't get paid enough, but they sure are dedicated. And some of them have been with us a long time. And we're very much appreciative of all our people there. And I say a couple of them are camera shy, but so there's 2 more at least that could be in the picture.
And of course, Helen.
And Helen, yes,
that's right.
Oh, and our columnists too. They don't even get a chance to get their picture in the paper here. Maybe we have to do a cover of the second section next week and next year and put the columnists in there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, again, hopefully, if you do have family or friends that are going to be coming over for Christmas or any type of holiday related festivities, and you want to put out a special spread for them, Helen's got some amazing recipes in there. She walks you through them. They're so simple, even I could do it. I don't have to. I live with someone who believes in baking as a religion, but
and you're a believer.
I am actually not. This is the weird thing, Ken. I'm a believer. Jackie does some great things with baking, but I'm not a big sweet tooth person. That's why almost every week or every other week, I'm bringing a bunch of pastries and baking and all that Jack has put together in the kitchen, and she's fattening up everybody for the Banner and Press right now. She's insulating all of them for winter, except for me, of course, right now.
Well,
but again, not to, like I said, it's amazing sort of to be able to get that, but.
Jack's in the office so much we've almost going to have to put her on the second section next year along with the columnists.
Oh, jeez.
The people who keep us going.
Yeah.
The people who fuel the Banner.
But again, Helen's as well is what we've got in there, and Helen's are, oh my God. There's been a few times, rarities, but a few times Helen's brought in some stuff for us, and it knocks you on your butt. It really and genuinely does. Like some of these ones here, I think are going to do that exactly for you this year as well.
Something else we have in the Christmas issue too, there is, let me count here, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 politician type people with greetings. I think we outdid ourselves this year. And we've got a whole bunch of people in there, MLAs, our MP, some of the mayors, the lieutenant governor. We didn't get one from the prime minister, but I could make a comment about that. But anyway, I don't think he was available. Let's put it that way. He was too busy. No, that's just a joke. We don't normally get one from the prime minister.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we've ever had one, but maybe we should next year.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see who it is next year.
All right, again, that's the B and the C section of this week's edition of the Banner and Press, and you can find it in 30 different locations, 30 different communities throughout Western Manitoba. If you're not able to get a physical copy, always remember, we go live on our website, mywestman.ca. Again, that is mywestman.ca every Friday. And another little feature for you as well, this will be the last paper of 2024. We're going to be taking a couple weeks off in the 27th edition and the January 3rd edition of the Banner and Press. There will be no edition. We will be returning back to our normal schedule for the January 10th edition of the Banner and Press. So if you're not able to pick this one up this week, you got a little bit of time where you're going to be able to track it down. So hopefully you will and check it out. Let's get it. Oh, sorry, Ken.
I had a little moment there when you said this is the last edition of the paper. I thought I'd better clarify, but then you did. I'm a little sensitive to that this week because we got news that a fellow newspaper in Manitoba, the Thompson Citizen, we are videoing this on December 20th, and this is the date of the last issue of the Thompson Citizen. And Eoin could tell you about the Thompson Citizen because he was raised with that paper when he was growing up in Thompson. I don't know what all went wrong there or what happened. I have some ideas, but pretty sad day. A city the size of Thompson, 14,000 people?
Well, let's see. When I was there, my family, if you know the story, my family moved there in the 70s, immigrated from Ireland for opportunities at Inco, the mining company up there. And we spent 30 years there. I didn't spend 30 years. I spent 18 years there and then got the heck out of there. But my formative years were in Thompson, so the Thompson Citizen was the newspaper up there. You had the Thompson Citizen, which, if I remember correctly, was 3 times a week. They would print a copy of the newspaper at their prime. And then you had CHTM, which was a radio station up there. So far north, you needed to have your own radio station because we weren't getting anything from Winnipeg and we weren't getting anything from Brandon in terms of radio. So we had our own. Those were the 2 items that sort of kept us going in the 70s and into the 80s. And that's where the information was from. If I go into my scrapbook, I'm sure I've got many news clippings of when my brother played hockey, when I played hockey, badly. I did not have the skill or ability my brother had when it came out on the ice, but little things, little awards, those types of things, those clippings, those are the memories of my youth and of many youth that were up there. It is unfortunate that a community that was up to 18,000 people at its prime in 79, 80, 81. It was the third largest city in Manitoba. Now I think it's sixth. But it was a city back then, and it was a bustling city. But things changed, the needs changed, and it's unfortunate to see something like the Citizen disappear like that. But, like, it is what it is,
It is what it is, and it is what it is in about 23 or 24 communities in Manitoba now. And the membership in the Manitoba Community Newspaper Association is down to about half of what it was 6 years ago. And it saddens me and saddens us every time a paper drops off the face of the earth. I just think, I hope they're keeping the archives. I hope they're keeping the records. I hope they're doing something to preserve all those 60 years of work that went into operating a newspaper up there. I know that I could probably buy it pretty cheap, but that 8-hour commute is a bit of a pig. It's a little bit of a deterrent. So.
Yeah.
Not to mention my age. And Eoin doesn't want to move back to Thompson.
Oh, hell no. Anyone, if you're from Thompson, you get it. I tell people who ask me, no, I didn't live in Thompson. I didn't grow up in Thompson. I survived it. That's a little bit of an in-joke for people from Thompson, but that's the truth. That's the reality. It was a mining town. It was a sort of Wild West town in a lot of sort of ways. And it's an interesting community, to say the least. And I've got the scars to prove it. But again, it is my hometown. It's unfortunate to see something like that disappear. But Neepawa is where I'm at right now. Neepawa is my community. Neepawa is my hometown. I support it, and it supports me. So I'm very appreciative of that, and will continue to do so as long as you guys allow me to. So.
Well, we're glad that you are. On the front page of our paper, we've got something that's local and pretty cool, an annual ice show, and that's one of the many things that make a local community work, because people look forward to this. These kids have worked all year to do this, and they put on a great show every year, and we've managed to get about a couple of pages of coverage. Page 1 and page 9 of the paper covers the Neepawa Figure Skating Club, and the pictures alone just are really cool, and so we pay tribute to the work they've done all year.
Yeah, that's right. On the front page and inside the paper, you can find the Neepawa Figure Skating Club's annual ice show, their Christmas ice event that they put on at the Yellowhead Center. Always well regarded. We very appreciate getting the chance to go out there and cover it. Gasper Weirhan was able to go out there this year and get a whole bunch of pictures from it. If you weren't able to be there in person, check your local listings. Because if I remember correctly, NACTV was there as well, and we'll be rebroadcasting the ice show. So remember to check your listings for NACTV and this year's ice show for Christmas holiday season. So let's get into some other positive news. Like, this was a good one. We went out on last Friday, and we were able to cover a little bit of some of Santa's helpers going out and about and helping out our local food bank. Ryan McLaughlin, who is the principal owner and manager of McLaughlin, Chevrolet, GMC Buick. I think I got them all in there.
Yeah.
He and his management team and his employees decided they wanted to do a little bit extra this year. So they put together an event where they were going to raise some support for our local food bank in terms of donations of food, non-perishables, toys, household items. They put the word out to the Chamber of Commerce, which put the word out to all the businesses, and even non-members of the Chamber stepped up and said, hey, how can we help? And they ended up taking 2 big old truckloads. You know how big the trucks are nowadays. They are huge. And they took 2 of the biggest ones out there. Some cherry red, turbocharged, 4-wheel drive, Hemi V8s, whatever you want to call them, chariots out and about, and we're able to take all those over to the food bank last Friday in support of that, which was just fantastic. It's great when businesses and organizations and people see beyond themselves and see beyond their own needs and see the needs of the community and decide to help out in such a big and bold way. So wonderful to see that type of commemoration and celebration, especially during the holidays.
Well, kudos to Ryan McLaughlin and his staff for doing this, and you'll see in the pictures in the paper that there are two pretty loaded trucks with toys and food and everything for the hampers and for the food bank. There tremendous support there, and it's good that we have this kind of support and this kind of activity in Neepawa to help those who are less fortunate and to help people just get over a tough spot, and good for them. It's great to see.
I'll put a little addendum at the bottom of that article as well, just letting people know that it's wonderful that everybody was thinking of this during the holiday season. But remember, the need is 365 a year. So don't even in May, March, June, whenever, if you have something to give, please think of the food bank and please try to support them as best you can. If you take a few minutes, you listen, you read the story, you can find out a little bit more about how you can assist. It'd be greatly appreciated. Speaking of assistance, this is a story we got sent into us, Ken. A little bit of background information in regards to the town of Neepawa receiving what is called the Age-Friendly Manitoba Community Collaboration Grant. Try saying that 5 times quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice to see that they're getting some assistance and they're going to be able to assist other local organizations such as HAND, such as Arts Forward, such as the Handy Van Initiative. It's designated to support initiatives that enhance the quality of life for our local seniors. That's big. We are, believe it or not, we're all getting older. I don't want to believe it. I don't like it at all. I disagree with this whole aging thing. I want to go back to being 24, Ken. I'll be honest with you.
Well, that'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Yep.
They got bad news for you, though. The thing about not aging means dying, so...
Okay. All right. Then aging maybe ain't that bad.
Aging isn't that bad.
Especially when you're getting good support for these wonderful organizations such as HAND, such as Arts Forward, such as the Handy Van, which do so much in and around our community. So very pleased that they were able to send this to us, and we're able to share some of that information with you.
So I don't see in the article, did they tell us an amount, or is it just... I don't see an amount in the article.
That was the interesting thing as well. They didn't give us a specific amount on that. So I thought that was kind of interesting. It's always kind of interesting when they don't give the amount, because maybe it wasn't that much. 20 each organization's getting $20.
Yeah, no.
No, don't quote me on that.
I think it's a little better than that.
It's much better than that. I can assure you of that. So wonderful to see that those organizations are going to be getting a little bit of a helping hand of their own.
We'll have to ask.
Yep.
All
right, we got a few minutes left, so we're going to go into some other things here. I'm sure you've got something to say here on these last two, Ken. First off, sports and the Neepawa Titans. Things have been going very well for our local MJHL club as of late. They've been able to put together a bit of a winning streak, defeating teams that are trying to catch them in the standings in the form of Wayway-Sakapo and Verdun, as well as the Winnipeg Blues. They ended up taking them to a shootout recently, but came out on top for the extra 2 points. If I remember right off the top of my head, as of this recording of this program, they are on a 5-game winning streak. They are into a winning record. I think are they 17 or 18-12 right now, Ken?
I'm not sure. I looked that up last night, but I got a short memory.
18-12, 1-1 for 38 points. They are in 3rd place in the West Division right now. They are comfortably in a playoff spot right now. Never say never, but we were talking about this just before we went on to the air. The two teams that are trying to catch Neepawa are Wayway and Verdun. They both have, at this moment in time, 22 points in the standings. As we said, Neepawa's got a bunch of points. They have 38 points in total. 16-point difference, which factors out to 8 wins. With about 24 games left in Neepawa's schedule, this is the math portion of the program. If Neepawa goes on a 500 record, if they go 12-12 for the rest of the season, both Weiwei and Verdun are going to have to go like 20-5 in the rest of their games to catch them. What that means, in essence, is unless something monumental happens and Neepawa finds a way to completely screw up the second half of the season, they are in the playoffs. So that's wonderful. It's been a long time since postseason on multiple years has happened. They made it in last year. They made it in 6-7 years ago. But the last decade's been a real dry spell. So God willing, it's going to be nice to see some extra hockey being played in March and hopefully played in Neepawa.
Well, it looks that way. I mean, it's been a long haul. Last year, the team made the playoffs, and that was the first time in a number of years. And they were up against Verdun, I believe, in the playoffs last year, and lost in the 6 or 7 games. But
6-game series, yeah.
But Verdun's going to have to really get on their pony to get into the playoffs this year. Yep. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all turns out. Big changes up in the northern part of the league. The former OCN Blizzard became privately owned and no longer owned 2 or 3 years ago by the Pasqua Cree Nation, and went into private ownership, and then those the two brothers that owned that sold it to private owners again, and they've gone on fire this year. They're in second place, I think, right now.
1 point up on Neepawa in the standings.
Yeah.
For the longest time, it looked like it was just going to be Dauphin wins the division, and then it's going to be Northern Manitoba playing Neepawa. We'll figure out who gets home ice advantage as we go along. But as of late, Northern Manitoba, as Ken said, has also been on a tear, as is Neepawa. We are both creeping up ever so slowly into the standings against the Dauphin Kings. So this is a 3-team race right now, potentially for first place. How crazy would it be for Neepawa after nearly 12... Yes, it's been about 14 years. The last winning season for Neepawa was 2009-2010, in which they had a winning record. So how crazy would it be for them to have not just a winning record, but to win the division?
It would be a major step. It's been a long, long, long haul. I mean, I've been personally involved, full disclosure, financially and some administration-wise. But I've been able to pull back from that because some very good people have come in place working on the board there. And of course, we've got good management, in my opinion, and good coach and GM, Ken Pearson. And so things have certainly turned around. And there's an old adage in business that I was taught a long time ago. You have to be around for the turnaround. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you're in survival mode. Yep. And certainly the Neepawa Titans, formerly Neepawa Natives, were in survival mode for a long time. And so we'll see how it turns out. And we're going into a weekend that'll be a while before we're back on air to tell you about it, and a while to be back in the paper because we're going to take 2 weeks off. 2 weeks. Give everybody a rest from reading and but also my staff. So it's going to be a while before we get the word out. Maybe we can sneak something onto the website or something, or if there's something exciting happens between now. You're going to be bored after 3 days of holidays anyway. Also, I don't know what you would going to do with 14 days of holidays. So anyway, we'll keep you posted as best we can.
That's right. And don't forget, of course, as we're recording this, the Neepawa Titans have a pair of games to close out 2024 against the Northern Manitoba Blizzard at the Yellowhead Center. Both those games are going to be recorded by NAC TV, so during the holidays, again, as we said, check your listings on your television. I don't know if TV Guide, I don't think TV Guide's a thing anymore, but check your listings on your television for when the Neepawa Titans games are going to be broadcast on NAC TV, so you can keep up on that for yourselves. And hopefully when we come back in 2025, we're going to have some positive news on that front to be able to share with you. We got a few minutes left here, Ken. We got plenty of time where we can sort of go in on your column here. You were talking a little bit about the year that was, some of the trials, some of the tribulations, but some of the triumphs as well.
Yeah, it's been a good year, and some people who knows our history might question our sanity in saying that. But before I get into the column, I want to also talk about a column that was out, or a story that was out a couple of weeks ago about the Neepawa Yellowhead Center, and it stirred up a little bit of discussion, a little bit in the community, well, maybe quite a bit that I didn't hear about, but it's also come into thumbs up last week, thumbs down, thumbs up this week, and so read that. I think you'll enjoy that. And the reason I hang on to that, I was involved and still involved with the Yellowhead Center. Actually, I was on the committee, so to speak, 52 years ago when this thing was built. And not the main committee by any means, but I did work on it. I was a youngster in town here working for the Department of Agriculture, and they said, oh, you're going to help over here. So I just did as I was told. So I've been involved in one way or another with the Yellowhead Center for 52 years. And I know quite a bit of the history before that of the sports scene in Manitoba. Anyway, this column this week talk about trials or turmoil and blessing, and talk about a year of turmoil and blessing. Didn't say that right. Turmoil and blessing. As most of you know, my wife Christine was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer late last year. Had her surgery 4th of January. You can tell that date's emblazoned in my mind. And we went through, she went through a really, really tough time. And I was along for the ride to try and help. And but I guess interesting in the column, I said she's kicked me back out of the kitchen. She's mostly kicked me out of the laundry room. Not allowed to go shopping anymore with her. So she doesn't want to go through that trauma, having me along to shop. And she's doing really, really well. And so we're very, very grateful for that. And but we're also aware of the fact that we're all, if you're born, you're going to die. Hopefully you get to live a good life in between. And this year has turned out to be very good for Christine and for I and for our whole family. And we're very, very grateful and very thankful. In the end of my column, I said something I feel very strongly about. And those who know me know that this comes straight from the heart. I'll just read it. In poor health, even in sickness unto death, we must remain thankful to God for his provision and mercy. Christmas is a great time to think upon God and his son Jesus. And I'm not casting any shadows on anybody else or their belief system, or even if it's a lack of belief. But that's where I am. That's from my heart. And that's how our family lives, and that's what we believe. And we will defend to the death someone's right to believe as they believe. So I just want to leave that with you as a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. But let's remember that without God and without Jesus, we don't have a Christmas. And like I say, I'll defend unto the death someone's right to believe differently than we do. But I also feel that we all deserve the right to express what we feel and what we believe. So that's about all I have to say for this year.
And that's a very good message to close out 2024 with, in my opinion. One of those things, whether you are a spiritual individual or whether you are not a spiritual individual, the whole live and let live thing, just try and live a good life and don't make other people's lives difficult. If you can do that on a daily basis, you're doing all right. And you're contributing something worthwhile to our society and to our community. And that's what I hope you take from 2024. Just try and give back some positivity to your community in 2025. And we're going to try to. We're not going to succeed every day, but we're going to try our best. And we hope you do as well. So that pretty much wraps up not just the story behind the story, but 2024 for this year, Ken. Anything else you want to say? Any other little grievances or any other little how you doing, how you bins for anybody out there?
No, I won't talk about grievances. Due to magic of television and computers, Eoin and I, believe it or not, we're not sitting in a lovely living room with a Christmas tree in the background. What you're seeing there is electronically generated. Right behind us really is a very blank green screen, literally a green screen. And what you see there is artificial as can be, but it does make for a lovely scene, and we're happy to be in it.
Well, again, thank you very much. If you have any story suggestions for us, you can always give us a call at 476-3401 or over at news@neepawabanner.com. Thank you as always. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.